Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a selector for the H3. So I'm going to type in pound top H3 open and close curly braces. So that's the H3 inside the top div, and I'm going to set the margin to 0 and press refresh or click inside design view. You'll see that it closes the gap between the top div and the borders, but we need to position the title better. Now here's a little tip for you. The height of the top div was 30 pixels, so if we set the line height to 30 pixels, it's going to force the title right into the center of that div tag. So it's perfect positioning there. Okay, so I'm going to set the padding. We're not going to have padding on the top or the bottom because it will disrupt the line height we've set, but I am going to put padding on the left and the right, and I'll set that to 10 pixels from the left and 10 pixels from the right. And as you see, it's pushed the title away slightly there. That's fantastic. Now I'm going to change the font family. So it's font-family : and we'll change that to Tahoma, Geneva and sans serif. And I'm going to change the font size as well. So it's font-size : and I'm going to change that to 15 pixels and put a semicolon on the end and then click refresh. Okay, so now I've adjusted the padding. I'm going to make a slightly longer title just to check to make sure that we can get enough text in there if we need to put a really long title in, and yeah, that's fine, that looks good. Okay, so it's time once again to preview that in Firefox, so I am going to save the changes and preview, and there you go. We've got an expanding web text box, perfect for any occasion. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten it up a little bit using some CSS-free border radius attributes. Now I'm going to type in -moz, -border, -radius, -bottom left, : and I'm going to set it to 12 pixels. And I'm also going to set the bottom right radius as well to 12 pixels. So it's -moz, -border, -radius, -bottom right, : and 12 pixels there too. Okay, now I made a tutorial on CSS-free rounded corners. I'll put a link in the below bar if you want to learn how to do that. Okay, so I've put the bottom border radius on there. It looks fantastic. And what we'll do is we'll go in and do the top border for the top div now. So I'm going to go and find the top div selector, create a little space there just under the background color, and I'm going to type in -moz, -border, -radius, -top left, : 12 pixels, and I'm going to do the same for the top right. I'm not going to put in the WebKit border radiuses. You can do that yourself if you follow the CSS-free rounded corners tutorial. Like I said, I'll put a link in the below bar for you. Okay, so here's what it looks like in Firefox. Perfect expanding web text boxes with border radius attached as well. And you can also experiment if you want to. You can put just a border on the left, bottom left and the top right. It will look really good. Okay, now here's an example of some that I made earlier with various different colors. Now, if you're going to use more than one of these web text boxes and put links in it on a page, then you're going to need to change it from a div with an ID to div with classes to make it valid CSS and HTML. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we can do that now. Okay, so first off, you're going to see the div ID holder. We're going to change that to div class holder. And we're going to take div ID top and we're going to change that to div class top. And we're also going to change the bottom div from a div ID of bottom to div class bottom. Now the reason we're doing that is because the W3C says that if you're going to have more than one instance of a div, it cannot be a div ID, so you cannot repeat the same instance of a div, but you can repeat the same instance of a class attribute. Now you'll see that now I've changed the class attribute, that all of the styles that are attached to it no longer exist. So all of the div tags now expand to fit the content of the whole page. But don't worry, all we need to do is change the pound signs to dots, and that's representative of the class in the CSS styles. So instead of pound top H3, it will be dot top H3, dot top, dot bottom, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now once I press refresh, you'll see all the styles are reapplied to those div tags. Okay, I'm going to preview that in Firefox. If you have any problems, just